Palmeiras didn't even need much effort, nor their starting players, to thrash Jacuipense this past Wednesday and secure a spot in the round of 16 of the Copa do Brasil. I'll bring you some details, some positive points that I noticed. Chief among them are Abel Ferreira's good decision, the winners of this Palmeiras match, and of course the losers too. So let's start with this decision by coach Abel Ferreira. He chose to rest almost all the starters, only put Gustavo Gomes as captain and starter in Palmeiras' defense, and it turned out to be a completely right decision. Jacuipense is a very weak opponent. They couldn't put much pressure or pose much danger to Palmeiras' goal, so Palmeiras was practically playing with their reserves, and they were able to give some minutes to those players who hadn't been playing that often. Yeah, on the field, the main positive highlight was Felipe Anderson. There wasn't really any way to avoid mentioning the attacking midfielder. He scored a goal, gave 2 assists, all of that in the first half. Yeah, in the first play, he skillfully dribbled past 3 defenders and passed to Mauricio, who scored to open the scoring. Right after, he himself scores the goal, and to finish, another assist, this time to Eric Bellet. So Palmeiras didn't need much effort and saw Felipe Anderson, who was often criticized by the fans. And, with good reason, he arrived in Brazil with a lot of hype, and he was supposed to be one of the big names in this new overhaul of the Palmeiras squad. He's a somewhat shy person. He doesn't have that very close and warm relationship with the fans, but today, on the field, he lived up to all the expectations and even exceeded what people usually expect from his football. Yeah, another positive point was also the presence of the young players on the field. We had Luis Pacheco, Larson, and Riquelme Felipe coming in during the match. Eric Bellet, who scored the 2 goals I already mentioned. Luis, who also scored another goal in the second half. As starters, Palmeiras once again saw its academy graduates leading a victory with a touch of experience here and there, like Gustavo Gomes, Marcelo Lomba in goal, Felipe Anderson, but with many academy players on the field. And for there to be a winner, we have losers and clear losers, the 2 fullbacks. Now let me make a caveat here, especially with Jefté. Jefté hadn't been playing regularly, he was just recently recovered from an injury. Yeah, he had even lost his spot as the first backup for Piquerez on the left. After Arthur's rise, he got another opportunity. He wasn't really tested in defense, but he also didn't contribute much in attack. He didn't create any real dangerous chances. And now, in my opinion, the main loser of this match was Kelvin. That's Kelvin, who, when he first arrived at Palmeiras, was considered an undisputed starter at right back. He even had a great performance against River Plate in last year's Libertadores. But it's been a long time since he's delivered. He's known for being an offensive fullback, but he did little to help Palmeiras in that regard against Jacuipense. Yeah, and that just increases GI's advantage, basically. So, Kelvin, I think that every time he steps on the field, he justifies Abel Ferreira's decision to have GI as the main starter. Now, some other highlights. Palmeiras' qualification guarantees $3 million in the club's coffers. Yeah, the prize money will be paid by the CBF for advancing to the next stage. And Palmeiras had a big crowd at the Estadio do Café, a lot of support. It was even one of the things Felipe Anderson praised in his post-match interview. So yes, Palmeiras had a strong connection between the fans and the team, even away from home. Just a little bit of bad news. Benedetti picked up an injury at the end of the game. We still don't know if it's serious or not, but tomorrow morning I'll bring more details about the defender's physical condition. Palmeiras has qualified for the round of 16. Now they wait for the draw to find out their next opponent, and they'll be back on the field Saturday at Arena Barueri against Cruzeiro, now for the Brazilian Championship. Palmeiras remains the leader of the Brazilian Championship, and there will be a few more matches. They'll still face Flamengo before the break for the World Cup, 2 Libertadores games, Cruzeiro. So it's a pretty tough stretch for Palmeiras. They'll be able to play as the home team again, first at Arena Barueri, then they'll return to Nubank Park. To get through this final stretch of matches, they'll happen every 3 days before the break for the World Cup, alright? So, I invite you all to follow the post-match coverage at lance.com.br/Palmeiras. Also, some details, the goals, the interviews, Abel Ferreira's comments, and Felipe Anderson's too, on Lance Digital on Instagram. Thanks. A big hug to you all, and see you next time. I'll see everyone at the game between Palmeiras and Cruzeiro next Saturday. Thanks.
Hey, did you like this video? Then give it a like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And turn on the notification bell to get updates on all the content published here on Lance.